Greatest thing on the planet. Oh, I know, I just want to eat so much. I have a real sugar issue, honestly. This is great. I love it. Ian and I are just going to do team meeting. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Ian and I are just going to do team meeting. This makes my heart so happy that you're all chatting, but I'm going to make you stop in just a sec. But I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, it was. Yay, good. With the mic, Mike's meeting. Oh, sweet. That's so good. That's good. Yeah. Know you. Hi, you too. Welcome. We'll get you. I want you to have the undivided attention. Oh, that's a different Emily, I think, that you're talking about. That's her. I'm the hi. Right, I'm Emily. That's okay. But she has great people on her team. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I'll call you in just a sec. Hi, Tyler. Let's do like a, you know how Rich is doing like a rev up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. 1, 2. Eyes on you. I feel like we should do like we should start a new tradition for Tuesdays where we do some kind of rev up thing. Of course. And because she's standing, do you want to rev us up? I know what that means. Just like, you know how sometimes people will like, okay, everyone stands and we like do a slow clap, then it gets faster and then this who no that's I do know one cheer. Do it. You do know a cheer?
Come here.
Yeah.
She's going to do it. She's going to do it. Okay. No, we're not going to do a cheer, but she's going to do the splits. I'm going to count her off. I want everyone.
Wait, let's cheer her. Stand up. Let's give her.
Everybody stand up. Give her a round of applause. We're going to count down. Woo!
We're going to do like a sequence of the many places that Carrie's done the splits. We're going to put them all together.
I mean, theaters.
Yeah.
Megaplex theaters. Wherever I can.
I know. Okay, this is the tradition is every Tuesday, Carrie's going to be doing the split. Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. This is so perfect. I'm trying to figure out a way that we can tear out everything that's green around the parking lot and get more parking spaces or like build something above. I don't know, but I don't want anybody to ever feel like they can't come here. Yeah. Let me tell you what it was like to get this building approved. So that 3-story parking garage doesn't look too exciting, promising, I should say. Especially because I'm the one that sold these houses right here. That was not that great of a day when we decided. Well, I parked over there. Yeah, which is the best problem, and we got to fix it. What are we gonna do? I have some ideas, but I don't know 100% yet. So I don't know, because I don't want to discourage anyone from being here. I was thinking in the summer, I would have my kids drive their golf cart from the parking lot, like bring that people over. Do you just want to park there?
Yeah.
Lucy's getting her learner's permit. I don't know. We could figure something out. She could drop out of school and take people around. If you are an adult, she can drive with you to just bring you somewhere. Should we do that? We're going to figure it out. Also, if you have any ideas, I would love them. Especially if you're renting space here. We really want to make sure that you can park here if you're renting space here, right? So we're in the process of figuring that out. Yeah. Yeah, but how do you enforce that? Well, I don't want to encourage people to eat, but okay. Okay, yeah. Well, where we don't really have lines, maybe we can redo the lines and make it a little bit more efficient. The lines are kind of faded. We're just gonna eliminate lines. We're getting rid of the lines and we're just gonna pack it in. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Great idea, Kimber. Really good idea. Okay, so tell me how it's going so far. Did you have a good New Year's? Are you feeling pumped about 25?
Yes.
Are you excited about Goodbye 24? Yes. I know even numbers are good, but 25 is a quarter of 100. So it's, oh, 25 is so good. Yes, it is. Yes, so many things. Does anybody have a win or a gratitude or a bucket fill?
I got a gratitude. For those of you that were here at the 10 o'clock meeting, raise your hands. That's pretty cool. So if you have a business plan and you want some accountability and you want to come to a meeting only once a month, come see me after the meeting and you can join it. We had a great kickoff talking about what we're going to do this year. We're all going to follow our business plan. I just want to personally say thanks to everybody that met with me, put your business plan together and came to the meeting today. So we're going to do it again next month.
I heard some very rave reviews about it already. Good job. Anybody else want to share anything positive? Ems?
Old bucket fill, but we had a wonderful experience where everybody came together when we had a little mishap in December about a Christmas party, and another group had already planned it out and scheduled it and had everything done, and they let us use their space and join them and save the day. So like that is the kind of office we have, and you really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much.
That was like a really proud moment too, because it was complicated because of all the effort that was put in on all the sides and everywhere. It was just a complicated situation. So to be able to come up with solutions, make it work for everyone and be just open and willing, that was really cool. Thanks. Yeah. Anybody else? I want to bucket fill your boyfriend at the holiday party.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. You guys missed out if you did not see. If you saw somebody
That
dancing
was so fun.
along with a
Yeah.
wig, that was him.
And you know, he just kept going just to like make me like completely red. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He just kept going because I was like, get off. Like, what are you doing?
No, it was the best. I loved it.
It was fun. I just wanted to say like thanks to everyone. Like 2024 was a dang hard year for me, and so many people stepped up to like see how I was doing and like check in on me. Like I can name so many people, but I just want to say like this is truly a family to me, and I appreciate everybody that has either reached out to me or whatever, but you really did like lift my spirits through 2024, and I'm super excited to be a part of this team for 2025 too. So
Yay. Good job. Anybody else? All right. Parrish, where are you at? Oh, hi. Do you want to give him a mic? We'll do the mic for Zoom, not for volume. But you can. You also can do splits.
Can't even, I can't even like, that's right there. That's about it. Oh, well, I just love coming here. I love seeing everybody and how, you guys help one another. I don't know if you know this, but, having a home inspection business and being a home inspector is kind of one of your lone wolf, kind of your lonely kind of career paths and stuff. So for a lot of us, this is kind of our social hour. This is actually where we, get to spend time and talk to people and things. So, and that's probably true for not just home inspectors, but other vendors. So say hi to them when you do see them. I just love coming in here, just seeing the accountability that you were talking about earlier. That's awesome, to create a business plan, to train you guys how to actually run a business and have accountability for that business. That's huge. I have to kind of go outside. I have to seek for that. So you guys have that all in house, and that's just so cool. I just love to see it. One of the things we're doing as a home inspection company is your buyers can now, if they would choose, it's kind of an opt-in service that we have for all your clients. If they want to have all the utilities put in their name, all they got to do is call our home binder department, and we can get all their utilities set up for you. The other thing too, I know that with doing home inspections, we find several issues, and I know it's kind of a pain when you guys have to get bids to find out, okay, what's this going to cost, and help in the negotiation process. We actually have a repair builder service that will allow you to utilize AI to get those bids within 24 hours. Okay, and this is a super accurate system. Okay, so we're doing everything we can at our end to hopefully kind of streamline what you guys are trying to do with the deal. And so I'm just excited about that. 18 years in business, free infrared scans. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, I got my business material back here. Feel free to reach out, give me a call. Obviously, everything's no pressure. Okay, awesome.
Sweet. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Appreciate it, guys.
Remember, we're only as good as our partners are, right? So grateful to have great partners like you. Happy birthday. We got Cody, Caitlin, Evan, Katrina, Steve. What day is today? The 6th? 7th? Happy birthday yesterday, Cody is here. Okay. Do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So that we're not. So we've officially started. I'm going to start teaching in the office.
Wait,
so
do you know Ian? Does everybody know Ian?
oh,
Ian, what's your official title?
I'm the Market Center Technology Trainer and Director of Agent Services.
And he has a new home on the main floor. Have you seen him? Now when you come in?
But so I'm going to start teaching in the offices. So kind of get all of you up to speed on all the new updates within Command, how to use it, how to better use it to help better your businesses in 2025. So we're kicking off with, I have 2 classes on what is Command, such as overall kind of what all can it do for me. And then I'm also going to be teaching how do I use Command. And then we also have the road to $100,000. We can get your contacts in there, get those running, start working those, and help you guys make $100,000.
Thank you. All right. And then Kimber is going to be teaching this for Terry. Terry did want me to say, I don't know if you know, her husband's having some problems. And she wanted me to tell you all, thank you so much for like the prayers and love and stuff. She's feeling it. He's doing okay. He's doing okay. Had a big surgery yesterday and he's doing okay. But so she's not going to be teaching this. We get our girl Kimber.
Kimbo for the assist. So 6 personal perspectives. If you have never attended this, my challenge to you would be attend and also talk to me about maybe even teaching it next year. I've learned that through getting on the road to being KWU approved instructor. Really just teaching things is how things just really, really stick. And 6 personal perspectives are really the foundation of our company here. So, and you get CE. So if you heard nothing else, you get 2 hours CE.
Things that I've thought of, you know how you get these ideas, but then you never actually execute them. One of the ideas I've had in the past, I have so many friends and family members and things like that that work at great companies, have businesses and things like that. They don't most companies and industries don't have the same emphasis on personal growth and mindset as we do in our industry. I think it would be really cool to learn this and teach it. Bring my like friends and family, clients, maybe, something like that. You can use this facility, but specific hours because of parking, slipping back around. But to teach here or have somebody come and teach it. Any of us, I'm certified to teach it, Kimber, several people. So we can teach this to your people, maybe give some sort of mindset help or something. It's a really, 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 really awesome class. Did you have something, Robin?
Well, Thursday is not the 15th, so my question is, Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Okay. So the 15th is correct. Okay. Wednesday on the left side.
Okay, we'll fix that. Thank you. Sorry, Tyler, I didn't see you had the mic.
Oh, so 6 personal perspectives. I think the name for me, this is always just, it doesn't mean anything to me personally. So I would love to know, Kimber, if you could rename it
Okay.
to like, no, I'm not saying you do it, but tell us what it is, because I look at that. If I didn't already know, I've been to the class like
point.
probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
What is this and
I'm gonna
why?
put it on you. Why have you gone there 3 or 4 times?
Oh,
No, keep it.
I was going to give it to Kimber. I was already trying to pass it off.
You keep it. Why have you gone?
These are like 6 building blocks to a successful business.
Boom, put it down. It's not real estate isolated, I guess you could say. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
6 building blocks. 6 building blocks to
A successful business or life or whatever, if you don't want it to be just business.
build success. Okay. That's helpful. Thanks.
Commit to self-mastery. Commit to the 80-20 principle, move from E to P. Make being learning based
The foundation of your action plan. Remove your limiting beliefs and be accountable.
Those are the 6.
Those are the 6.
Wouldn't it be, can you imagine like if your kids were all those things? Teaching like life skills, right? That's what it is.
perspectives, but add in that will help you.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah,
Okay. That's helpful. Thanks, guys. Anybody else? You do.
Well, that's what with like less maturity
Yeah.
and more room to grow.
Yeah. I love that. That's cool. All right. We get her again. What's this?
Okay, you guys, this is an ask, but you'll enjoy it. Okay, so I am working to be KWU approved and apparently teaching 3 different Ignite sessions it only counts as 1. So I need to teach 1 more KWU course. And so I picked an amazing mindset one to start the year. So this is Shift Tactic 1, which is get real, get right. Best way to start the year, 12 to 1:30. It's on Zoom. So you can attend it anywhere. You can attend it at Costco if you want. And I would just appreciate at the end, they're going to ask for an eval, and that is going to be part of me getting approved. So
Yeah.
yeah, then it'll be cheating. Just kidding.
Okay, so tomorrow we have a special opportunity. Do you guys know who Mark Willis is? There's a hint on the screen. President and CEO of KWRI. So Keller Williams International, Keller Williams. This is the president and CEO. He is doing a special training tomorrow because of the money that we raised to help people in Florida and things like that. Is that why? Carolinas. So we have this opportunity to have a coaching from him. So it'll be via Zoom.
It is in person in the South Valley training room only.
There we go. And then we're watching it. We're streaming it here. Okay. That's tomorrow. Daly's here. Okay, you sit that out there. Okay, pickleball. Guys, this is coming up. Who wants to play? Okay, we got to get you signed up. There's going to be all sorts of different levels of skill, from have heard of it but don't really know what it is to you record your score. every time you play kind of thing, right? So it really is for a good cause. Is there anything you want to talk about with it, Rebecca?
I think this could be a client event. This could be something you invite your friends and family to. Like, ooh. This could be a client event you invite your friends and family to. Like, this is going to be a really fun, and it's just a time to like hang out together. I literally haven't played pickleball in like a year and a half. And when I did, I was terrible, but I'm still signing up and I will be in the baby course with all the other newbies. Yeah, with you. But they also have like even up to like experienced, if you have your number or letter or whatever it is when you get to the high levels, I think it's a number, you'll be able to like, go against other people with your same designation. I don't know. But it's gonna be really fun. And it's also for a really good cause, guys. We need to raise lots of money for KW Cares because we have a lot of people that are gonna need our help. And that's what we do as real estate agents as we give back. So this is our chance to get back to our own family.
We have a 6th grade boy in our office who is about to start his big chemo, save his life kind of thing. And so we're just preparing for, there's a lot of people around us that need some help. So if it's also a great way to bring people together. So please, even if you come and you don't want to play and you want to donate $20, everything just really makes a big difference. Okay.
So I know that the tournament has been postponed because we didn't have enough people to play. Is there people who are willing to sponsor people who are willing to play?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you for doing that. The biggest need that we have, correct me if I'm wrong, is sponsors, because we're using sponsors like Parish, like our partners, to sponsor to pay for it. Then any players, that's going to be the money that goes to KW Cares is the players that play and pay their fee. But we need bigger sponsors to actually fund the event. It's a really, really important one, as well as getting the players there. So yeah, the best thing to do is if you could direct anyone to Ian. That's who we're directed to, Ian, to get them set up. And he has a great email that explains really what it is. So if you have someone, get with Ian and he can send them the information of why they should be a sponsor and what they're going to get for that. And it's really 100% of the money goes to help our South Valley people here.
I am going to start advertising this to my clients, but I'm curious if we have anything that would be more client facing to advertise it. We
can get that.
Like the print material.
Yeah, something that you could send digitally or print, or
Yeah, we'll get
and
that.
have like, I'm sure there's going to be questions on how it's going to work, and I don't know. Are there answers if you do the QR code? I mean, like I would love more details so that when I talk to somebody.
On events before. She's the queen of all of this. This is perfect. Yeah, we'll get that all for you.
Okay.
And we'll probably pick your brain a tiny bit if that's
Yeah,
okay.
this is my first event of the year.
Okay, I love that attitude. This is our first event of the year for you and your clients and your kids and just anyone you want to bring. Anything else with this? Okay. Family reunion. There's still time to sign up. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's in Vegas. This will be probably your least expensive getting there option. It's not going to be in Vegas next year, as far as I know. In California, yeah? Do we know, Kimber?
I don't think they've announced.
They book them 5 years in advance, so I don't know. They usually announce it at family reunion where it will be.
The reason I had 2 years of Vegas is because of COVID.
Yeah.
Kimber's on a panel.
You are?
Yes, speaking.
Why don't I know? Yay. Good job. I'm not on social media, but you guys, I'm ready. I'm like 95% ready to get back on. Will you be my friends? I'm scared. Just accept my invite, Kate. Yeah. Oh, in Vegas? Okay, sweet. Oh, perfect. Let us know if you need a roommate or you're looking for a place you need some help. We'll get you connected, okay? Okay, Mike, what you got for us today?
Just real quick, because I want to hear from Todd and Emily. Did you all get an email from the division yesterday? Okay, so check your email. The licensing system realms, you're familiar with that? Okay, that is undergoing some changes. If you guys have a friend of yours that's at another brokerage and they're going to move over here, and I know, so raise your hand if you
Which is
do,
a good thing, which is.
right? So if you want to bring them over, we can't do the changes online. It's going to be a little while as they redo this system. So we'll have to do change cards. We're going old school like we were 20 years ago. So when your friends want to come to our brokerage this week, come see me. I'll print out a change card, sign it. We can get them moved over here. Okay?
We'll take care of it. They don't even have to know how to do it.
They
You
don't
have
even
to
know how to do
We'll
it.
Take care of it.
So if you log in, the system has changed, guys. Just follow the instructions on it, especially if you're going to renew this month. I renew this month and I just did it and it's okay. It's just different. If you have questions, call me, but it's going to be a little cattywampus there with the division until they get their system fully transferred. So follow the instructions. If you did not get an email from the division, check your spam. Okay. You should be watching for emails come from the division. That's all I have today. So.
That's a good.
Shout out.
I got some other words, but we'll talk about it.
He's full of words. Okay, anything else with that or anything else, Mike? Okay, I am so excited for you guys to hear from these two. If you don't know them, glad you're here to get to know them. We've been together. Our relationship has been almost 10 years. And it's seriously to see from transitioning from another business into this business, completely shifting careers. The way that you started it out and your focus has been super exciting to watch and really has helped me be better at my business and things like that, and thinking outside the box, being innovative. You guys are awesome. Excited to hear how you built your business. What do you need from me up here? Do you need anything? Okay, so let's give it up to these two. Todd and Emily. Oh, you have it? And I'm just gonna, you don't need to hear from me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
All right. So I'm Emily Hayes. This is Todd Hayes, and we're super excited to be here. And we were asked to come to kind of talk about a few different things. So I'm going to have Todd.
Yeah, it's a new year, and so everyone is in, business planning mode and production mode. And so to kind of give you an idea of one of the reasons why Emily and Barry asked us to speak was last year as we grew our team from 4 agents to about 14 agents. We ended up doing, I think, 115 transactions. And so a little over, I think almost close to 1.5 million in GCI. It was our best year ever and one of the hardest real estate years since 1995. And we tried to do a very predictable business for ourselves and with our team. And a lot of the times, a lot of people ask, well, what are you doing? What's your magic bullet? And in the honesty to that answer is we just literally went back to the basics. We knew that transactions were going to go down by like 30 to 40%. And so what that meant was typically in a good year, you're looking at 6 million transactions. So that's 12 million, double-sided. It fell down to around 4 million. So that was 8 million double-sided.
I don't think that's
It was something close to that. I'm not sure. I'm just going off my memory here. But what that meant was, where was I going to find that typical production? If my own production normally was going to fall that much, where was I going to make up that percentage? And so what that meant was I could not necessarily just rely on, or I should say Emily as the salesperson, just my SOI and the typical database stuff. It had to go, okay, I have to go back to how I started my business. I had to go back to the basics. The door knockings, the calling, the prospecting, and going back to the grind if I wanted to improve the business. So that was kind of our mindset going into 2024, because we knew how hard it was going to be.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we were really focusing on was growing our team. And one of the big changes for me this year was kind of I was in full production. So I think personally did 48 transactions, and we're growing this team together. And I had to be in two worlds trying to figure this out and jump into like a leadership position. And one of the things that it taught me was I need other people to depend on me for me to show up best for myself. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. This is a really isolating career as well. And it doesn't have to be, but it can be. And a lot of times it's just us showing up for ourselves. And how often do we show up for ourselves in the way we show up for other people? Right? So that really changed my approach to everything I was doing in my personal business. So, and my team is here today, so you guys get the real information. So I know I'm pretty honest with you guys, but I'm like a typical real estate agent, a little bit disorganized, a little bit like chaotic, right? We all, even, you know, the most successful real estate agents have a lot of elements of ways we could improve and be systematically better. So I probably lived my first 8 years, maybe 9 years of my career, not really living in my database, not really tracking things very well. I just did a lot of activity and got results from that. Didn't really know where those results were coming from all the time, but just knew if I worked hard, things would happen. And that didn't serve me super well when I had to look at my business as a whole and see what areas can I focus on, because what's bringing me the most money? What, you know, am I tracking the expenses that I have and how that's leading to closed business? What is where should I be putting most of my focus? So that's really where I've had to step back this year and help my team implement, along with myself, better habits and better ways of doing business. And I'm very glad that they're learning the right way from the beginning. And I can't stress enough that one, it is possible to change. And two, if you are starting out and you're newer in the business, Keller Williams teaches the model. If you've read the Red Book, if you are in command, if you're taking the classes, we're going to be really resistant, I think, generally as salespeople, to want to live in our database. But I can tell you, like, one of the things that has really changed the way that has allowed me to grow and do two basically separate businesses at the same time efficiently is because I'm changing my habits as a real estate agent and I'm living in my database. So what does that look like? And is it okay if I kind of go through what a typical day would look like for us? Okay. So our team meets every morning at 8:45. We do 15 minutes of script practice. I also can't stress enough how important script practice is. I am the worst at script. Okay, I'm the most stubborn, most resistant. I want to do it my way. Like, I'm going to take this script and make it my own. Let me tell you why that's a bad idea. Okay, so sorry. So I'm going to call an agent who just started on our team yesterday, Jenna. Raise your hand. So real estate. Just started out just started first day on the team yesterday. So I gave her the script of welcome to, like, I'm new in real estate. Have you heard the news? You guys have heard that script, right? Like, have you heard the news? I'm new in real estate, join blah, blah team or whatever brokerage or Keller Williams. And, you know, then you go into asking them what the real estate plans are for 2025 and having those conversations. And then at the end, asking for that referral, right? Because every time we talk to someone, the very last thing we're supposed to say, which we should always be saying, is, before I jump off, who do you know that's thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate that might need some help? 25 calls she made. She got 3 leads, like hot leads. And how many people did you probably talk to? Maybe like
I say I'd probably talk to about 14 people, maybe. Yeah, I got like 3 hot leads and I have a buyer consultation appointment on Wednesday.
So she had not practiced the script.
she was reading the script. And because she was reading the script that had been proven to work and just reading the words on the page, she got 3 leads from that. 2 of them were actually, they all kind of stemmed from an initial referral. Like your grandma said your uncle was looking, and then you talked to your aunt, and your aunt said your cousin was looking. And so because she, one, asked if they had the real estate needs. Well, number one, contacted the person, guys. Let's just start there. Okay. Contacted her sphere. Oh my God, guys, sphere. Who wants to contact their sphere? Who would rather cold call from the phone book than contact their sphere? Let's be honest, guys. I know there's more hands in here that should be raised. It's a really hard thing, I think, for a lot of us to do, but she jumped in, just listened to direction. So thank you. And just read the script. So contacting the person, number one. Number 2 would be asking what their real estate plans are, talking about real estate, guys. We can do that. We are real estate agents. She introduced herself as don't know if you heard, I'm a real estate agent now. So if you haven't had that conversation with some of your people, that's a great script. And then at the end, asking for the referral. And it worked. It worked because she did it and she followed the script. So what that taught me, because I learned a very valuable lesson, is that the scripts that you guys get, scripts that Keller Williams has, they work and you should be using them. And you shouldn't be modifying them because one word feels a little uncomfortable to you. Try to lean into the uncomfortable word. Try to lean into that uncomfortable question because you're going to get a lot of information from it. So this year, along with all the database stuff I talked about, the other thing we focused on is we have a sales coach that we've been working with. I never learned sales. I just jumped into real estate and just never had a sales background. So one of my deficiencies was I didn't feel like I had the skill set to teach my team how to actually ask the deeper questions and do the sales process correctly. And the thing that we've been focused on this year is digging a little deeper and asking more questions and going for the appointment and increasing our conversions. So when we get someone on the phone, we can ask those deeper questions, build that relationship. So for example, today I had a woman that was on the phone and she said, they had indicated they thought about selling. And then I called back and she's like, well, I just had a baby and we're just going to wait. Okay, old Emily would be like, okay, well, when should I call you back? When's a good time to reach back out? New Emily. I said, tell me more about when you were thinking about, well, first of all, I talked about congratulations on the baby and blah, blah, blah. But when you were thinking about buying a house, what had you thinking about it? And just that question started more conversation about why they were wanting to move and what was the motivation. And because of that information, I was able to get in a better relationship with her. And truly, she was not going to be thinking about anything till August. So what I did is I used a halftime approach. So instead of talking to her in August when they said they'd think about it, I'm going to follow up in 3 months because we should all be following at least either monthly or every 3 months with our leads. But if I had just cut it off there, she wouldn't have remembered me. I wouldn't have any information to write down in my database because I wrote down everything she told me. So now I can ask her about her baby. And I can ask her all these personal questions and build that relationship as we're moving along, hopefully get that business down the road. But it just taught me some valuable lessons because I had this thing in my mind, like, I don't want to pry. I don't want to ask too deep of questions. I don't want to pry into people's lives. But when we don't ask those questions, we take away the opportunity to help them because we don't know what they need and we don't know why they feel like they can't move now. And so that has just been a really big eye opener for me, and something I feel like has helped us all increase our conversions and be able to really feel confident in moving relationships forward. That was a lot, but that's really like the key thing I feel like I've been really learning lately is getting to know people and just asking more questions. If you're ever like stuck and you don't know what to do, the what our sales coach has told us, the best question to ask is, tell me more about that. And sometimes you'll get a response like Erin got today that was, I'm not interested in telling you more about that, but that is not the common, but that's not the common phrase. And then at the same time, we don't have to help everybody, and that lady might tell her one day. But most of the time people will think about it and they'll disclose stuff. They'll tell you how much they paid for their house. They'll tell you about their jobs. They'll tell you about their financial situations. People tell us a lot of stuff, and we need to know, and we need to just get over ourselves and that fear of like not wanting to offend or not wanting to go to, make things uncomfortable. We need to give people space and opportunity to tell us their stories, tell us what they need. And if that's one piece of a nugget you can take from today, it's just ask more questions. And that's going to just help you so much in building your relationships. The other side of that, we're talking about the database, and then I'm going to have Todd talk. When we don't track in our database and we don't log our conversations, we don't know who we have called or who we haven't called. How many people have forgotten about a lead and then like never call them back, or realize they like totally bought with someone else, or you said follow up in 6 months and you followed up in 12 months. Does this happen to anybody? Yeah, that is like money flushing down the toilet. And it's also like you not doing your job. You promised these people you would follow up with them. You got in a conversation. It's your duty to follow up. But if you don't have a systemized way to actually follow up with those people, then you're just putting yourself in a really poor position. So go back to my day. So we do the script practice, going right off on a tangent on that, but scripts are important. Follow them, read them, and don't change them. Just like find another script if you really don't like it, but really try to say the words that you don't necessarily feel comfortable saying. Next thing is getting into what we call is our day in the life of our database. So we use a different system than Command, but I know Command has the same functionality, but it's basically you want to first contact the new people. So anyone new that hasn't been categorized yet. And then you want to go through and do your tasks. So any tasks assigned that you have, every person that's in your database that you're talking to should have a task, a follow-up assigned to them, follow-up call, follow-up task. So complete the tasks, especially the calls, and then get into following up with your hot leads, which is like the people that you're working with, right? So all of the buyers and sellers that you're working with. And then it will go down into following up with other people. So your nurture. So we use a different categorization, but we use hot, watch, nurture. So hot is like people 1 to 3 months buying, nurture is 3 to 6, and then nurture, and then watch is 6+. So we have a systematic way of following up with our hots once a week, our nurtures once a month, and our watches once a quarter. And then we also put our database, our sphere, on an auto plan that gives us a reminder to call them quarterly.
And in Command, that'd be called the Smart Plan.
A smart plan. So you guys have a free database, a database that's included in being part of Keller Williams. And if you're not utilizing that and you're just trying to do spreadsheets and this and that, I promise you it's worth it to take the time, be on your laptop, and then find a way to systematically make your day work for you. And that probably is creating some smart filters to pull up certain types of people. I'm sure there's all these ways that the tech team can help you kind of come up with a plan of action for your daily follow-up. And so that is the main thing that we're really focused on right now. And then of course, outside of that is additional new prospecting, open houses, door knocking, networking, because our job is not only to feed our database and to follow up, feed, follow up, feed, follow up. So we constantly have to be doing that. And if we can do that every day and set aside time to actually prospect and do the follow-up and the job that we have, this is a job, guys, but the job that we have, we're going to succeed. The consistency is way more important than having a good personality or, you know, going to a lot of networking things or doing a lot of open houses. You can do all the activities, but if you don't have the process behind to systematically follow up and do that in a consistent way, you're not going to have consistency in your business. So coming from somebody that lived a very chaotic existence and didn't have a lot of work-life balance and just like work all the time and then be exhausted and then work all the time and then burn out like for years, it just wasn't a great way to do things. And I'm learning a better way now that actually is working really well for us to create more of a work-life balance so that I can go home at 5 o'clock. Now, sometimes, yeah, of course, we've got showings, we've got meetings, things like that, but I can know that I had a day's work in and that I did the job that I was supposed to do. That was a lot. I'm gonna let you talk.
Perfect. Thank you, Emily. I'm going to put on more of an operations hat to discuss. So as Emily and I are starting to grow the team, and I think you can talk to most teams, the number one thing most teams struggle with is their per agent productivity. Like, how do you get your agents into a business and a predictable business so that they can have, you know, the financial future that they want? And as Emily and I were looking at this question, kind of the three things that stood out to us last year was one, we realized the language of conversion was missing, right? We were slightly surprised at how many people, when they come to us, would not ask for the appointment at an open house, at the end of a phone call. They all call them back and do that. And so that was one of the first things with our outside coach is what we would do is go over the version of like conversion or objection handling, which is where those questions is. If you have them on the phone, just don't let a no or don't have an open-ended question. Ask the open-ended questions to keep the conversation going until you can get to ask for that appointment. So that was number one, is really focusing on that. The second one, after talking to a lot of other teams around the country, is we realized consistency on a daily basis is the other huge key. So I was talking to my coach, and she had a team member on her team who technically was doing everything that he needed to do to hit his numbers, right? He was making, at the end of the week, he had all of his numbers, all of his open houses, you know, so if you would look into his system, everything looked perfect, right? But he was not finding the business. And so she said, well, let's change one thing. Instead of you coming in 3 days a week and doing like 300 phone calls in that day, how about we just have you come in every single day and do consistent 50 calls a day and see how that changes. And by the end of their experiment, he had gone from not producing to being one of her top producers, just because he was doing it consistently every single day. And that kind of was the other realization, kind of the light bulb went on, is in real estate, we only matter when we matter to our clients. And the only way we're going to be there to matter when they need us is if we are consistent in our follow-up. And Emily has said this, we've had people ghost Emily 2, 3, 4 years, but she's consistent in the follow-up. But when they need her, what happens? They come back and say, Emily, I'm ready. And she's like, I thought this person hated me. But the consistent follow-up there is because they weren't ready to engage with us. But when we mattered, and they came back to us because we just had never given up. So that was the second key, is trying to do that consistent plan every single day. And then to go along with consistency, we realized, well, we need to start mastering time blocking as the other one, because that's the other one that most people don't master. And so along with that, I'm in a coaching program with Chris Suarez, and he kind of talked about the 6 B's of time blocking. So most people who has heard the phrase time is money, right? Everybody. He helped me switch that mindset, that time is not money, time is a commodity. I only have so much of it to spend every single day. So I need to realize how I'm going to spend that commodity. And it's up to me to protect that and spend that wisely, because that's how, in the end of the day, that's how I'm going to make my money. So he came up with what he called his six B's of time blocking. It's batch, block, break, buy, borrow, and build. So batching, what's that? Batch, block, break, buy, borrow, and build. So batching is we all have different, we have families, we have maybe other side businesses, we have real estate. And if we try to work on everything all the time, every single day, we're never going to get anything accomplished. So the first thing he realized was he wanted to take a segment or an entire day and batch around what he wanted to do that day.
Just hold it still. Break.
Sorry. And so that's what he was doing. He was going to batch the time for that day around either a single business, his real estate, his team, or whatever that is. He would batch that for that time. Then inside that batch, he would then block, right? So now he wants to block out a 90 to 120 minute segment to achieve what he calls flow, right? As a human being, we only can really truly concentrate on something for an hour to 2 hours. And after that, our minds tend to wander, they get tired. So if you can give your focus for that time block for that time and then take a break, you're going to get into that flow and you're going to be able to achieve a lot more and be more efficient with your time. And he says, if you can block properly, this is the healthiest of all the bees, right? If you can master that. Then he realized that he's now batching, he's realizing what's important to him. He's now looking at all those appointments that he made previously that don't align anymore with what his preferred future looks like. So he's okay breaking those appointments for himself because they no longer align with what he needs. And it's a waste of time. He's throwing away that commodity that he can be using for something else, right? And so he needs to break that. And he says, if you have to break that with me, I'm not going to be offended, right? And if you're going to break off with somebody as well, they're not going to be offended. And as Ben Kinney says, he will purposely go in and cancel 50% of his appointments on a day. And if they don't come back to reschedule with him, he knows it wasn't that big of a deal to them because they didn't come back and schedule it again. Okay. So that's how he kind of decides how he needs to help people, because if it's truly, truly important, they'll come back. If they just wanted his time for his time, then they won't.
Not client appointments, but
But
but like you guys, how many times do you get hit up to meet with random vendors and people that might, anyway, together.
So the third one is buy, and this is using leverage. So for example, and I teach this to the team, and if anyone has sat down with me, is leverage is the only way. We only have 24 hours in a day. That's never going to change. So the only way you can increase your wealth is by increasing your hourly wage. And the only way you can increase your hourly wage is through leverage. So if my hourly wage is $400 an hour, let's say, should I be wasting my time showing a home that I could pay somebody $20 an hour to do? No, correct. It is better for me to buy that time through that person or that technology to free my time up to do what I want. I think Hiram last night gave a perfect example where he says he doesn't like to prospect. So he buys his prospecting time by paying for his leads. And he knows he has to fight for it more, but he said golfing is more important to me. So he buys that time through buying leads, right? So it's something to think about, is buying that time and through that leverage. And if someone wants to talk about leverage, let's set up a time to talk about that. Especially that's how Emily was able to do 48 deals, is because she has a showing assistant. So she leverages out that time to free her up to do the higher level things. Finally, borrow time. Who here has ever had a meeting go longer than what they should? Right? Everybody. So what you're doing at that time is you're borrowing time from a future activity to keep that meeting going. And so sometimes you need to ask permission to borrow, or you just need to know, hey, or you need to tell your later meeting, hey, I'm sorry, I had to go longer for this one. Our meeting will be shorter, but that was important, so I had to borrow that time. So as you think about your commitments and your activities, think about your time as this limited commodity. And if I go long somewhere, I have to borrow that from somewhere else. So is it worth borrowing that time to do that other thing, right? If you say yes to everything, then eventually you're going to miss an opportunity because you're going to have to say no because you made a commitment to something that maybe you shouldn't have made a commitment to. And then finally is build, right? Are you time blocking? Are you building your perfect week? Are you making sure everything on your calendar is living forward and not backwards, right? And so if we can master the time blocker, because I think we had mentioned yesterday too, like Chris had said in this teaching, is he hates the hustle culture, right? Where people, I'm up at 6, I don't go to bed till midnight, right? You're wasting your time because you're not efficient. If you're efficient with your time, you can do your prospecting, you can do your database, you can do all this and be done by 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon. And now you have that work-life balance. That's the other thing that they asked us to talk about. And that's where the time blocking becomes so important because you then have the option and you control your time. Now, I don't like when people say, hey, I'm trying to find a work-life balance because in my opinion, this is my opinion, I believe that's a myth. It does not exist, right? What exists, especially in real estate, is sacrifice. Sometimes I have to sacrifice my family in order to make that money so I can feed my family. Does it suck? Yes, but it's a sacrifice I have to do in order to pay the bills. Now, sometimes I have to sacrifice that money for my family. Does that mean I don't get to go on my vacation or does that mean I don't get my new car? Yes. Does it hurt? Yes. But my family in this moment in time is more important and I need to sacrifice. So at the end of the year, what I'm hoping is my scales balance. So at the end of the year, my life is in balance. But sometimes like in 2024, or like when we had those crazy years, our lives were in balance. And every single day we had to make that decision is what am I willing to sacrifice for? Because sometimes decisions are pain and you just have to realize what pain am I willing to work with and live with today to make my life go forward. And the other thing I think a lot of time is real estate agents, we live in such a world where we never celebrate our wins or we get depressed or something goes wrong. And what I tell my team all the time is if you're having a bad day and you wake up, think to yourself, what is one thing I could do today that is going to move my business forward? That if I can accomplish that, I've won that day and I can hold my head up high. Because sometimes that might be making one phone call to one person to check in on them. But if you do that and you can get the energy to do that, you win. Now, sometimes what happens is if you can do that, you continue a chain reaction where you're like, hey, that wasn't bad. I think I can handle this. And you continue and you can do more. But sometimes that's all you can do. And then, but you can at least say, hey, you know what? I did that one thing to move my business forward today. So today wasn't a waste. I won today.
I think on that subject, like having friends, a group of realtor friends or a team, somebody that you can show up for when you're feeling that like down in the dumps, the worst thing you can do is stay home. The best thing you can do is come to the office and find people to come call with. We are in our little area. If you're ever feeling like, I just need someone to call with in the morning, we're there every morning. We are in the office now. So if you just need that energy and feel like, hey, I need you to help keep us accountable to make my calls today, I'm happy to do that. We're happy to be those people for you guys. But it's definitely can be really tempting to stay home and sit in your sorrows, but getting into action and activity is going to be the only way to get out of those funks, or the best way to get out of those funks can really, really help. So find the people, get to know the realtors in this office, make friends, and, you know, do things together. Like it's an isolating business, but we have a lot of people in this office that are here doing work in our offices alone. There's a ton of places we can get together and do it together, including like down here in the conference rooms. There's all sorts of areas. So I always just say that's been really helpful for me. I get a lot more done when I'm with my team that's also doing work. And I could say you probably could attest to the same thing. Like it can be really helpful to have that energy.
I just want to say, because we're almost out of time. The one thing I wanted to say is the year we had, that was all through prospecting. We didn't pay for any leads. We paid for we paid for a little Google here and there and maybe some Google lead sources, but legitimately they were never the best. Maybe 5 or 10 came from that. The majority of it was just old school prospecting, databasing, open houses, door knocking, social media, home buying classes and seminars, because I did not want to necessarily flush money to be a profitable business. I didn't want to wait, I have a whole database that needs to be called anyways. And so I'm trying to teach the agents how to prospect so that if the internet goes away tomorrow, they still have every single skill they need to be able to feed their family. And that's something that's really important to me.
Oh, what are you guys doing for referrals? So you get a referral, like I always like to hear what other people are doing. Like, how do you guys work those? What do you do?
I'm not doing a good job. Let's just say that. What are you doing? Maybe I need to know.
Oh.
In the past, what we've done is just send like a little small gift when they give the referral, and then when it closes, we'll give them like gift basket or something more personalized based on what. So like a bigger, more of like a closing type expense gift for them.
My opinion is if my gift to them is actually taking care of their client in a professional, efficient manner, and then giving them that 25% referral fee.
Well, yeah, that.
Oh, for client or are you talking about?
Yeah, just like because most of my business is referral, and I have kind of a referral system, but I'm always curious what people are doing to.
Well,
everything is.
I think a lot of other agents too, and I think you have like that VIP mail program. That's what you just want to make them feel special. So sometimes do a smaller event for just your biggest referral partners, so they feel more in touch with you than just invite them to the bigger event. Like invite somebody to your dinner. Like I think we've had clients invite us over to dinner to their house to make sushi. And we've had, we invite our clients, the ones that really support us. We'll reach out and say, hey, do you guys want to go out to dinner, and just take them out, to dinner.
That's been really effective.
Because I think people want to support your business, A lot of them aren't looking for a reward or a gift back. I give the advice of, hey, if you really want me to pay you, get your real estate license, hold it at the referral brokerage, and then I can pay you 25%. Because it's I can then legitimately pay you. No one's taken me up on the offer yet, but I was like, the class is free, the brokerage, you pay that small fee. Like I'm trying to get my massage therapist and my barber to do that, because those are two people who talk to everybody, and I'm trying to talk them into doing that, but so far no luck.
Night, shut it off.
Oh, we watch reality TV.
We watched 90 Day Fiance the other way.
Say the other way season 4. We just got into season 5 now. Season 4 is legit.
So we really sucked at that for a while. It was just real estate
About was real estate
all the time. And we realized that was affecting our our marriage relationship. And so now, when we get to around 6 or 7, and that we just put on the TV, or we go to dinner, we reach out to friends. So we just are making a more conscious effort to put that into a box, so we have, time together as Emily and Todd, and not Emily and Todd real estate.
So
agents.
focusing on the daytime as my work hours instead of daytime leading into nighttime, and maybe talking to friends in the daytime. It's just like focusing on more of keeping it more of a 9 to 5, with knowing that I might have to write up offers. There's all these things that come up at night, or appointments and things, but just really try to keep it into that zone now, like 5 or 6.
Keep watching 90 Day Fiance.
It's great. Okay.
Emily, can I ask, you talked about that your morning actually involves role play?
Yeah.
Role play.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it sounded like you were not a fan of it, correct?
Well, it was just like I didn't do it.
No, I'm looking at Todd. Todd answered the question for you.
It was special, guys. I really did. I was like, I'm unique. I'm gonna do this my way, blah blah blah, and it worked. But honestly, if you look at my growth trajectory, I had a lot of big growth at the beginning, but it didn't continue that way. I kind of slowed it down and kept pretty status quo, and just wrote up the prices of the market. I'm sure some of us can understand how that goes. So it wasn't until I really put the systems in place that we're seeing we almost saw like double growth in production with our next year we have some big goals, but you have to systematize it and focus it out. I got to do the things that you guys told me to
You
do at
got
the
to
beginning.
do, you got to do what you preach.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I just wanted, it's a good reminder for me because we talk about role play all the time and especially for new agents learning the scripts, but I was one of those too. It's I'm cool.
Yeah.
I can get along with everybody and I'm just going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I actually learned scripts and fell in love with them to realize that, at the end of it, you're not scripted, but there's that
Yeah.
process there. So it's
Yeah,
good to
there
hear that you're still doing that.
And if you do have a script partner, the one thing that we learned this year as well is talk to your script partner and ask if you're the role playee, how do you want me? What objections do you want me to present? Or how do you want me to be aggressive? Do you want me to be, nice? Do you want me to be a little bit standoffish? Because then that way, as they go through their script, you can arise different objections that they might not, that might come up. Because if we just give them like, hey, we're going to role play nice every single time, you might memorize the script, but you're not sharpening that skill. So tell your partner, hey, I want you to be a little bit more standoffish today, so I can kind of try to maybe ask you those deeper questions to get you where I need you to go.
So you guys mentioned a little bit about so I guess my question is, what have you done with your agents and you personally when you're either experiencing like a burnout or some sort of trying to get your agents kickstarted into production? What's your biggest advice on kind of getting that done?
It's a great question. So one thing that our partner company Place has implemented is what's called a productivity contest. And we had 2 of our team members that completed that. Aaron and Michonne, 5,000 dials. This was like from October 15th to the end of the year, 50 new contacts. And there was like a bigger group of people that were doing it together and we were supporting them and they had each other to do it. So I feel like that was one, and you tell me if I'm wrong, to kickstart the activity because you had a goal in mind. And for completing it, they're going to a very special private mastermind with the owners of the company. It's going to be really amazing. So that's one thing we do. But there's when it comes to the burnout thing, sometimes you don't need to take a 2-week vacation. Sometimes you just need a couple hours of quiet. Maybe you need to put down your phone. I've started meditating again because I'm like, I need to get my mind right. Like, find out what works for you. But a bad day there are no bad days. There's really just bad moments in a day, right? Like, so thinking of it more on a micro level, like this is a bad day. I'm burned out. I'm going to feel this way forever. It's be around people that can help you get that. Call friends, like be around people that are in activity that can kind of pull you out of that. And set some boundaries for yourself as well and teach your clients, how to approach you. Don't let them think they're going to be able to reach out to you at 11 at night and you're going to get a response. So.
And then the second side of that, the one benefit of being a team, if someone's having a bad day, they can reach out to the team and say, hey, I need help. Can someone please open this door, show this person for me? Or, hey, Todd, can you help me write this offer and go over the contract with my person? So that's how we kind of deal with it, is you have that safety net of the team. If you just need that time and space. We're a big believer in mental health. If you're not on the top of your game, it can, you don't want to lose an opportunity because of that. So find someone you might try. If you're not on a team, find somebody you might trust, who can be that partner for you.
One thing I heard you say earlier was you are more accountable to yourself when you have other people counting on you. And I feel like that was something that was super helpful when we met earlier last year. Was you were like, hey, can you make like 10 calls to at least just talk to 10 people today? Is that all you can, is that something you can do and commit to? And I was like, yeah, I like it. It was something like all of a sudden it wasn't just a commitment to myself, but I knew like I had a commitment to somebody else. So having that accountability was huge. And then another thing that I heard you say earlier today was just find out what that big rock is, and whatever that one thing is that's going to push your business forward is
if you can get that one thing done, that's going to set you up for a win. So I think those
If you really want to push yourself and hold yourself accountable, make your goals public. Put them out on Facebook, put them on, do a board in your cubby. So as people walk by, they can see what you're going to do and they'll ask you the question, how's that going? Right? If you keep it secret inside yourself, nobody knows and no one can be there to push you or hold you accountable to what you're saying.
I just wanted to ask the two of you, looking back, how many years have you been doing this? Sorry, 10 years. So looking back, I'm a newer agent, of course. Knowing what you know now, each of you, I know Todd, you kind of speak more to operations, and Emily, you've kind of been the face of the business, right? The client facing. What's the one thing that you would go back, knowing, having the knowledge now, and implement back into the earlier days of your business? And if you could each answer that.
I would have implemented one database system, picked something that worked for someone else and just go with it. I changed things so many times, and I would start from the beginning, writing really good notes about people and having a good follow-up system and like learning something at the beginning that was going to help set me for more consistency and follow-up and more consistency in my database and working more in that. That's what I would do.
For me, it'd be organization and systems. What I've really found this last year is if you're not tracking your numbers, how many phone calls it takes to get to talk to somebody, how many people you need to talk to get to an appointment, how many appointments you need to get to have a signed agreement, how many signed agreements to get to the closing. If you can find your own numbers that way, then you can backtrack to know exactly what the activities you need to do to get to hit your goals. And then if you can stay consistent with those numbers moving forward, you should be able to hit your goals. And that's the one thing we just never held that standard of tracking. And that's the one thing I've learned is because I can't help you if I don't know what your numbers are, right? If you're telling me, hey, Todd, I'm making my phone calls, but I'm not seeing that, I can't tell you it's a scripting problem. I can't tell you it's a conversion problem. I can't tell you it's an activity problem because I don't know. And I think if people can understand that number, as they start their business plans, they'll be able to know every year, okay, this is what I need to know. And I think the other thing too is the idea of my database is great, but where can I find a new pipeline of like a 10% growth? Is it through events? Is it through networking? Is it through so because growing your database is your life. If you, like, as Emily said, if she held steady, but she didn't hold growth and she rode the market up. Like if we would have implemented these things 8 years prior, I have no idea where we'd be right now. We'd be in a much better situation, but we allowed ourselves to get complacent with the rise of the market prices.
What tracking system do you guys use for that?
We use Brivity. And so Brivity, we get a Brivity, every single one of my team members get a Brivity phone number. So as they call through there, it tracks it right into the system for them. It tells them if they made a contact. They could put appointments into the system as well. And then they then go in and tell them if they have done it. And then now inside of each of my agents, agent profiles, they now have a sales funnel flow, which shows them exactly what their conversion rates are moving forward. And so next year, if they track properly, I can sit down and truly business plan with them to say, hey, you want to make this net income? Let's look at your numbers. Let's put that all in and see what it takes to get you there this year.
Anybody have anything else?
Yes, Sid.
First of all, Emily and Todd, I'm very impressed with you guys. Love you guys. I love your success. What are 2 habits, Emily and Todd, that you guys picked up your very first year in real estate that gave you that mind shift? Because I think a lot of people, when they enter the industry coming from another industry, they don't have that mindset of 8 to 5. So what are 2 habits that you would give that you picked up on your very first year of real estate that you would recommend other agents to pick up as well? Also, you guys are killing it.
I feel like I had a lot lot of bad habits, but the good habits, I would say, for me, it wasn't really a habit, but more of a mindset that I was not going to fail. Like I didn't have a plan B. I quit my job. Todd's job was like, his company was about to run out of funding. Like we knew this was all I had, right? And I was just went into it with the attitude that I was going to succeed, or it wasn't like there was no other option. So what that helped me do is it helped me find that motivation every day to go out and prospect and do those things. And I did have consistency in the prospecting blocks in my week. So I knew what networking events I was going to, I knew who I was meeting with, I knew what open houses I was going to do. So I did plan out my prospecting, and that was really helpful because I had planned it out. I actually did it. Well, that would be.
And I think for me, and one, to give a little bit background on Emily, is when she joined this brokerage, it was probably 110 people here in the office. Within her first 2 months, the broker quit, the team lead quit, and she was on her own. There was nothing. Her database consisted of 30 people she brought from her old job and my family that sucked. So, and we knew eventually at the same time, we found out that my job was going to be eliminated in a couple of months. So her mindset of, hey, I need to make money. I need to figure it out myself because I don't have any training, I think drove her to improve herself. And so the mindset really is do or die, right? That's the number one. For me, my mindset is I knew I was going to be doing her TC work. I wanted to get as good as I could on my contracts and knowing the addendums so that I could then make sure I'm not making a mistake on my end about to put a client in a bad position because I didn't know what I didn't know what I was reading or what I was writing.
Scared of me. So
I was very
we
scared
had
of her
to
as
do it
well.
perfectly.
And so I think that's the other thing too. There's even to this day, I see a ton of agents who have no idea what they're giving me in addendums. And especially the resolution of due diligence. I think 80% of agents out there have no idea what that addendum actually says. So as a newer agent, that's probably the other mindset is just know those things because one, unfortunately, there will be agents out there who will try to take advantage of you as a newer agent because they think you're new. And two, just if you know those basic ones, like for example, who here uses the closing cost addendum every single time? Or who here just says closing costs to be so X amount?
I use the addendum.
Addendum. Why is it important to use that addendum?
Attorneys run it.
Not only that, and this is the big one, is it says right in that addendum, if you don't have the credit, you automatically get the price reduction. If you just write seller to give X credit to somebody, you no longer have that permission to automatically drop the price. They could tell you no, and then your client now loses that credit because you did not write that properly. And there's no protections. Now the seller has to agree to drop the price. But if I have that addendum, they've already agreed to it, so they have to do it. So it's just knowing those little things will put your client and you at a better, better advantage. And you have knowledge to go. And when an agent tries to pull something on you, you can say with confidence, no, please go back and read the contract. That's not what we agreed to. And you don't have to do it in a negative way or a forceful way. Just that's not what was agreed to. Please go back and read the addendum. I'm going to go by what the addendum says. Good question, Sid. And then if anyone in business planning here, if anyone wants to sit down and meet with me one-on-one, I have a spreadsheet that we can plug some numbers into that can spit out activity numbers. That might help you guys understand a little bit better what the activity level needs to be. Because I think a lot of people underestimate the number of activities they need to do to actually hit their goals. So
We're totally here to support you guys. Like we're seriously, I mean, not that our doors open, we're literally open. We're just out in the hall, basically. So you can come find us anytime. But we're super grateful that you stayed so much longer. So thank you so much for your time and for listening. And hopefully you got some nuggets that will help you have a really successful 2025.